Welcome to the halftime show, your world of sports in half the time. I'm Colton the Bias, and as you can see, we are doing things a little differently this week as I am coming to you from my basement as we are doing the show virtually this week, and I'm pleased to be joined by Ben Tenuta. Welcome back for the first show this semester, and then this is the guy who runs the show behind the scenes, but since we're virtual today, he wanted to come on camera. That is RJ Garrison. Gentlemen, thanks for coming on.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for having us.
All right, guys. So here we go. Now, since it is Super Bowl week, we had to have a special football edition of the show. So first things first, who do you guys got? Tom Brady with his seventh, or Patty Mahomes with his second?
I'm gonna go with Brady. I want Brady to win personally. There's a lot of former Steelers on that staff. Uh, I kind of like Tom Brady a lot more. Now that he left the Patriots, but I think their ball club is really just on a different element right now. And this is going to be a really good game without a doubt.
Yeah, 100%. Both teams have shown a very good capability of having explosive offenses. You have Tom Brady, who needs no introduction. He has 6 rings on his own. Patrick Mahomes, who's looking to be the new face of the league, in my opinion, coming up here. And it's going to come down to, can Tampa Bay's defense stop Mahomes, or will free real estate be going all over the place? I think the Chiefs barely squeak it out for a back-to-back championship, barely stopping Brady from getting number 7.
I'm sorry, Ben. I'm with RJ. I have to go with the Chiefs, and it's just because, look, if the Chiefs win this game, it is going to be officially Tom Brady passing the torch to Patrick Mahomes, saying, "This is your league now." And
Yeah.
I just feel that, and I just feel Andy Reid is going to go in with so much motivation because in 2004, when he was the head coach of the Eagles, he lost to the Patriots in the Super Bowl, and then he robbed Patrick Mahomes of getting his first ring back in 2018 when the Chiefs lost to the Patriots in the AFC Championship game in overtime. I just feel Andy Reid is going to go in there with the motivation to finally beat Tom Brady, knowing that he isn't in New England anymore. And also, I do want to get your guys' opinion on this, knowing that the Super Bowl is going to be played in Tampa. It's going to be the first home Super Bowl ever to be played. But of course, it has to come while we're in a global pandemic. I mean, do you guys think that is going to have much of an impact on the game? And you know what? If this was full capacity, I still wouldn't think it would have much impact.
Nah, not at all. I can't see. I've been to a Tampa Bay Ray game. I've been down to Tampa. The fans are nothing like in Pittsburgh or any other. Those fans aren't really that passionate, but without a doubt, I mean, it's pretty cool to have home field advantage. Like you said, this is just going to be a good game without a doubt.
Yeah, the home field, I think, in this situation, even with fans, would have been played up a little too much. Yes, the Buccaneers will know the field, know the weather, and know all of those situations a lot better than KC will. But I just don't see Tampa's fans being, even if the game was in KC, being as loud, as much of an impact in the game as almost anywhere else in the league.
So, one final question for you guys. So, my bold prediction for the NFL in the next couple of years is if Patrick Mahomes wins this game, I seriously believe he can catch Tom Brady for having the most Super Bowls as a player. If the Chiefs win, do you guys think that that could be a possibility for Mahomes and the Chiefs?
I mean, it's definitely a possibility, but if we take a look, like Mahomes is, one of the youngest quarterbacks to ever win a Super Bowl. Well, Ben Roethlisberger, he won a Super Bowl his second season, and a lot of people had they started to believe maybe he could go on a big run, kind of like what Bradshaw did. But we've only seen 2 rings from him, and as of right now, until he gets at least 3, I don't want to bring up that scenario.
Well, just we still have one. Ben, he could get the second on Sunday.
Yeah, if
Oh yeah, if yeah. So yes,
if.
yeah, my apologies. I know that was in my question.
Yeah, there's always that possibility, but especially with players so early on in their career, anything can happen. And it also depends on the team. Can KC keep a very good competitive team around this amazing quarterback that they have? It's a possibility, but it's a wait and see approach at this point.
Now, Ben, going back to you, do you think that the hype around Mahomes is going to maybe slow down in the next couple of years? Because like we really can't deny it. I guess necessarily it didn't happen with Ben, but it's just all those playoff losses I think came about to stack up his legacy.
I mean, depending on what's going to happen to the team in the future, like following the next season, seeing how they perform, just wondering if they can keep him healthy. Just all different scenarios could happen to him that could, ruin his career. But I mean, a lot of people are hyping him up right now to being on the track of being the next GOAT. And I think we should slow that down. I feel like he's getting a lot of pressure on his back right now. And if I was him, I'd probably have a lot of pressure coming into this next game.
Yeah, that's right, guys. Well, we are going to have to see, I believe. Kickoff will be at 6:30, and I do believe it's going to be a great Super Bowl. Now, coming up, not even in the Super Bowl week, and we already have one blockbuster trade to talk about in the NFL. Find out what it is when we come back. Welcome back. The first big trade of the 2021 NFL offseason happened already as the Los Angeles Rams traded away Jared Goff, 2 first-round picks in 2022 and 2023, and a third-round pick to the Detroit Lions, and also Jared Goff as well. And Matthew Stafford will be heading off to Los Angeles, the quarterback of the Rams. Now, guys, who won this trade? Because this trade would happen like Saturday night and nobody expected it. I'm sure I didn't.
I was completely shocked that it happened. I think in the long run, I think the Lions won this trade. It was Stafford was getting old, and now they have a quarterback that could maybe be their new franchise quarterback, along with a first round and a third round pick. On the other hand, the Rams, they want to win early. It looks like they want to win right now. They're getting an older guy in Stafford, and I'm not sure how much years he has left. And, he's kind of injury prone sometimes. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, the Rams definitely seem to be in a win now mode. That's why you go out and get a guy like Stafford. Now, neither quarterback really has been anything too much to write home about. I'm not sure whether that's just because of bad coaching or they got hyped up a little too much or whether they just got put on a bad team with no weapons. Because Detroit's kind of just been there for the past little time. And Stafford's just, once again, been there. I can't put it all on him. Honestly, if this move pans out for both quarterbacks, this could be a pretty even trade, and then it comes down to what can the Lions get with those 2 firsts and a third.
I mean, the Lions haven't won a playoff game since 1991, so I think that is saying something. And they also have not won a division title since 1993. But in the long run, I agree with both of you. The Lions won this trade because I just still don't think the Rams are taking a huge risk with this deal because it just seems like their window to win a Super Bowl, I think, is only this year, and that's it. Because like Ben mentioned, I think Stafford's getting up there in age. I think he still has a lot left in him, and who knows, maybe because he's on another team with some good weapons around him and a good defense, maybe Stafford can make something about it. Yeah, but don't forget, the Seahawks aren't going anywhere. The Cardinals are not going anywhere either in their division. So I'm curious to see how that is going to play out into the mix as well. So do you guys seriously believe that the Rams can win a Super Bowl next year, I should say, since Stafford's on the team? And do you guys think Detroit can maybe be a playoff contender in the next few years?
Well, Stafford, he's always been a pretty good quarterback. He's thrown for how many yards in the this past decade? For the longest time, I've always seen him as one of the veterans in the league, but just could never do anything in Detroit. But, now that he's with a new team, I think this is going to be a fresh start for him. And with the new weapons around him and one of the best defenses in the league with Aaron Donald, I think they could be a playoff contender for at least the next 2 years, but not for the long run. For the Lions, Goff is – I'm not 100% on Goff. I mean, they brought him to the Super Bowl, the Rams to the Super Bowl not long ago.
Just 2 years ago. RJ, this was our freshman year.
That was our freshman year. We both said it was one of the most boring Super Bowls that we ever saw.
Yeah. It was all about defense, and he couldn't move the ball in the Super Bowl, so I'm curious to see what he does.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I guess we're just going to have to see, and we're going to have to leave it there. Oh, and also, fun fact, Rams and Lions play each other this season, so I'm going to be really excited to see that game. Now, coming up, we're going to give our picks on who is going to beat the dark horse next season, a team that maybe deserves to get a little bit of hype going into next season. Find out our thoughts when we come back.
40% of food in the United States is never eaten. At the same time, 1 in 8 Americans is struggling to put enough food on the table. Before you let your food go bad or throw your leftovers in the garbage, think about your options. To learn more about food waste and how you can reduce food waste at home, visit www.nrdc.org/issues/food waste.
Welcome back, folks. So we are now going to discuss our sleeper teams into next season for the 2021-2022 season. Now, RJ, you go first. Who's your sleeper team?
I kind of am stuck in between two, one from the AFC and one from the NFC, actually. For the AFC, a little bit shocked because they had a very good season this year, is the Miami Dolphins, actually. With a new young quarterback, Fitzmagic still being down there, coaching him. And let's be fair, Tua didn't completely look terrible in the games, at least that I saw. So he could easily come in, take that team, and maybe turn them into a playoff contender for who knows how long. Just depends on whether he can handle the pressure of the NFL. In the NFC, How about Chicago and the Bears? They only had an 8-8 season this year, but they seem to play a lot better, at least in my vision, a lot better than what their record had entailed. I mean, let's not forget, they got Mac on defense. Chicago's got to be thanking the Raiders so much for that trade right now.
So, what about you then?
Yeah,
buddy, RJ, I want to come back to you.
So I'm gonna agree with the Bears there. I actually was really thinking about them too. They had one of the best defenses in the league, and they actually held. They were in there against the Saints for a while, but they got to get rid of Mitchell Trubisky and Nick Foles. They got to find a new quarterback. Now, my main sleeper team is the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is officially the last dance. This is Ben Roethlisberger's last year, and he's going all in. He wants a pay cut, and if these pay cuts happen, Juju comes back. If they free up, if Pouncey comes back, a new offensive coordinator, big things could be happening in Pittsburgh, and I'm excited to see it. This might just be, shot with my eyes closed, but I'm excited to see how they go and see Big Ben's last dance.
I can't believe I'm saying this, Ben, knowing that they did make the playoffs, but I just feel that's pretty bold because after the Steelers lost to Cleveland, it just seems like everybody just wrote them off.
Well, it's because everyone had so much hype on them. They were undefeated. Everyone started jumping on the bandwagon. Everyone's hyping them up. Once you go undefeated, then you lose. People just, they bash you. No team can go undefeated. It's physically it's impossible. It can't happen. And they just they had a lot of hype and they just didn't, fill expectations.
I do believe there was one Miami team that managed to go undefeated the entire year.
There was one, but it would never happen again.
It was 16, and it wasn't a 16-game season either.
Yeah.
I mean, a 16-game regular season. Well, it almost happened, and then Eli Manning. So
I remember throughout the entire run the Steelers had, everyone was trying to compare them to that Miami team. I'm like, shut up. Let them play.
What about you? Do you think the Steelers can be sleepers?
It depends on how Ben plays. If we got early in the year, then very, very easily could be another sleeper pick. I mean, no one's sleeping on that defense that the Steelers have made here. It's all on the offense. Everyone knows the defense can make plays and steal games. They did it when Ben was completely out with the elbow injury. But sleeper depends on how Ben plays, whether he proves people wrong and makes the Steelers a sleeper, or whether he proves them right and just plays okay.
Yeah. And now, RJ, I want to go back to your Chicago pick. As Ben mentioned, he thinks the Bears should get rid of Mitchell Trubisky. Do you think they should get rid of him as well?
Trubisky seems to be very, very streaky, shall we say. He's not very consistent from what I've seen. And then you have Nick Foles backing him up. Okay, he's good for a short term, but if you're the Bears, you probably should really try to find a number one. If you can get a new true number one quarterback in that huddle, have Trubisky as a backup and Nick Foles there to possibly coach along some of the young guys to keep them calm, you easily could have a no longer sleeper pick. And possibly, depending how people play, maybe some people saying Super Bowl contenders.
What do you think, Billy? Do you think the Bears can be Super Bowl contenders by next season?
The Bears, maybe not Super Bowl. I mean, they have a chance to win. I don't know what Aaron Rodgers is doing. I don't know if he's going to retire.
God only knows what he's doing.
But if Rodgers is gone, there is a possibility where I can see the Bears winning the division, but possibly making it to the Super Bowl. I mean, like he said, if they get rid of Mitchell Trubisky, which if they get a new guy in there, it's going to have to take a while. If they get a fresh new guy just drafted, it's probably going to take a year or two. Or if they get a veteran quarterback, maybe possibly next year.
I think the Bears should maybe give Trubisky one more chance. And also, you're right, Ben. If Aaron Rodgers suddenly leaves Green Bay, the NFC North is wide open. Now, we are at a time. My pick was actually the New York Giants. So I'm curious to see what they're going to do with Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley back. Well,
if
guys,
he's the same.
pardon me? Wait,
If
what?
Barkley's the same.
Yeah, that's true. I think he will be. You know, I mean, Barkley's coming in with a lot of motivation, and I just feel knowing the NFC East was so terrible last year, I just feel the division's wide open for anybody to take next year. Guys, thank you so much for coming on today, and we thank you for joining us for this virtual edition of the Halftime Show. We hope to see you. I guess necessarily back here. I believe we are going to be going back into the studio next week, but we hope to see you wherever we may be next week. Have a great night.